Welcome to Minerva, a monthly show where we discuss the mysteries. We hope to give you enough information you can go away and do your own study on these. Today I'd like to introduce my co-host Duncan.
Hello.
And we're going to discuss the word esoteric. Now it could be quite simple. I have the dictionary meaning here, which is intended for or likely to be understood by a small number of people with a specialist knowledge or interest.
Uh-huh.
However, the interesting thing about the word esoteric is it's become a buzzword. Certainly in Freemasonry and occult circles and within mystery circles as well, everything seems to be attributed to this word esoteric. And as we've discussed in the past, I think it maybe scares people off.
Yeah, you're right. I think it does scare people off, but I think it's more of a case of how it's developed into almost an insult or something to be concerned about. It causes a divide, especially within Freemasonry, with a sense of a certain area of interest. In fact, if you're interested in anything that is not about actually just learning ritual, you appear to be labelled an esoteric. And if not, you're either just an ordinary Mason. In case you have that thing that says, "Ooh, he's an esoteric Mason," sense of. And we talk about esoteric concepts all the time.
Yeah.
And you know that I'm not an esoteric Mason.
No.
But because I'm interested in things outside of the ritual or learning the ritual from a different perspective, I often get told, "Oh, you're an esoteric Mason, Duncan. What do you think about this?" And it winds me up because it's not how I see myself as. But in reality, it is actually true. Because sorry, go on.
No, it's a label. It is. It's a label that's given to people, I think, and you know, it's an unfair label many times because when we look back at what the word actually means, Freemasonry is esoteric.
It is. I mean, you've given the literal definition.
Yeah.
I mean, it is basically it's an adjective. It is just describing what something is. It says if a book is green, a book can be esoteric, meaning that there is something in there that is intended for a limited group of people with a particular level of knowledge.
Yes.
But we do need to appreciate also that language is fluid. Words do change meanings. One of my favourites is shambles. We'll turn around and say, your desk is a shambles. We think it means to be disarrayed and stuff like that, or just messy. The actual word shambles comes from the sense of, you'll go to cities like York or London, there'll be places where it's called the shambles.
Yeah.
Because basically it's where they used to hang the meat up on the wall, and it'd be the blood would be so thick going down the street that you're walking through a quagmire. So like after a battle, they say that it was a shambles. There was so much blood and gore.
Yeah.
So it's changed. I mean, if someone from the 17th century said, "Oh, my office is a shambles," he'd be, "What? What happened in there?" It'd be like a massacre. So words do change, and so I understand that I find it difficult. I have kind of accepted that we use the word esoteric now to mean so much more.
Yeah.
It embraces anything that, I suppose, for want of a better word, is hermetical, something that goes in the sense of an area of faith or understanding which goes into the occult, and even that now has like a negative tone.
Massively. I think the word occult, and that's why I think people have substituted the word esoteric for the word occult.
Yeah.
Because saying the word occult just conjures up feelings of devil worship and Satanism and all of these crazy things. When someone might just be interested in alchemy.
Yeah.
And they might be interested in alchemy from the practical sense of, the chemistry and that type of thing. Or they may be interested in spiritual alchemy, where they believe that they're doing that within themselves and within their own body. But using that word esoteric has given it a softer tone. It's in some ways made it more accessible for people.
Yeah.
But in other ways, for the people that want to dip their toe into some of these topics, I think it scares them away.
Yes, I think you're right. To a degree, I suppose, but there's a certain concern. I mean, I don't have an interest in that field, but because this is where you're different. Because you love your esoteric stuff.
Definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, was your favourite order in Freemasonry?
The SRIA, for sure.
Is that right? Well, it's a byword for you in that group. I have no interest in that whatsoever. But saying that, I remember you did, because I had the impression that it was. Let's see, I'm going to use the word wrongly. It says it was so esoteric, and I'm not esoteric, so I've distanced myself from it.
Yeah.
But I must admit, when you have spoken about it, it is, yes, it goes into material that is hermetical.
It does.
But it's not, from what I've understood, it's a case of you talk about it as a solid concept. These are what, in this order, this is what these things mean.
Yeah.
Not saying that's exactly what they mean everywhere else, but within that order, this is what they mean. So you're right. I could be put off because I'm told it's esoteric, so therefore I think it's going to be all this, I'm sorry, for me, airy-fairy stuff over here.
Yeah.
But you're saying no. It's actually looking at Masonry from this perspective with these rules, within this order.
Definitely, and I think, again, looking at it from the Masonic point of view, the orders tend to be labelled with esoteric as well.
Yeah.
So they tend to be broken down to, well, this is an esoteric order and this is an operative order.
Yeah.
Where, if we were to look at the craft in general, that's incredibly esoteric. There is lots of hidden knowledge in there that is designed for only a few people.
The weirdest thing is, you say it, and you're right. You're actually linguistically absolutely right. But instantly, my ego goes, "Don't say it's esoteric. Don't call it esoteric." Because I am conditioned to the same thing.
Yeah.
But go on.
Moving on to study groups and places like that. Again, labelled with this esoteric knowledge. There are some which focus on the historical.
Yeah.
And there are some which focus on other aspects.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Have you attended any of those?
For me, it's quite a sore point. As I've said, not esoteric. I don't go into that. Well, our interpretation. I'm not interested in the hermetical.
Yeah.
But I am interested in understanding the language and literature of Freemasonry.
Okay.
Now, we've talked about the concept of Masonry being allegorical.
Yes.
Which is to me to look at a piece of literature and take off a specific layer of information, which is intentionally written in there. And that's not hermetical. That is a way that literature is written. The Crucible play by Miller, George Orwell's Animal Farm. These are how allegory is written. Yeah. So I want to study that. And I'm assuming because Freemasonry is described as allegorical, there would be a study group that goes, okay, we're interested in allegory, this is how it works out. I went to the Quanto Coronati thinking, okay, they are the top historical, top-of-the-mill research lodge for Freemasonry. I'm doing it from an academic perspective. Can I have some help with this? And instantly I get back and says, no, you need to go to another research lodge sort of thing. So, okay, I understand that. So I go to a research lodge and go, this is what I'm interested in. Oh, no, we're into the hermetical bits and pieces. So there's this ground in the middle where I don't want to talk about the history. I want to talk about the academic thing of literature. And I can't go to either two places. So
no, I think that is very difficult, actually. And again, going back to Masonic learning and the way that we can progress as Freemasons and learn to be able to talk intelligently as Freemasons about what we're actually doing, that's something that's really lacking. Potentially, Lodge of Instruction should be picking that up. Should these be discussion points at a Lodge of Instruction instead of just practicing, instead of just going along and regurgitating the ritual over and over again? Should we actually be learning? Should we be sitting down and actually putting bits together? I don't know.
There was, were we at the same sort of meeting about mentoring where we were talking about the LOI came up in discussion, wasn't it? I mean, every LOI, Lodge of Instruction that I've been to, it has been very much a rehearsal concept that we do it. And there'd be snippets on how you say it. But I think at that meeting, it was wonderful to hear about, I think it was only one lodge saying, well, that's what we do, but one of the preceptors goes round and actually said, well, the reason we do it for this is this. Yeah. And it's not just, it will either be a piece of history or to break down why we're saying stuff, which even for actually Masonic knowledge, I think it's a fantastic thing to actually help you learn the ritual. If we were doing Shakespeare, we wouldn't be just going on reading this off deadpan. There'd be nothing without, well, we're going over there because Rosalind's going to do so-and-so, and so that's the dynamic. Yeah. You've got much better chance of people understanding what they're doing, appreciating what they're doing, and then at the end of it, did I get that message across? Because that's what the ritual is about. To get across that message, not necessarily to the candidate, but as we always harp on about, the rest of the people actually in the lodge.
Definitely, yeah. What should we say? Should we change the word? Should we be using... Should we go back to saying... When we mean the occult, we're going to say the occult?
Oh, apologies. Right, okay. For me, there's a talk that changed the words of the ritual.
No.
Flutter of the heart there.
Definitely not.
Yes, I think we do. I think it's one of those things in, as you know, we've got this mentoring program starting. But one of the things I think we should be looking at is defining the word. As we've spoken about this before, the sense of the word morality and ethics.
Yeah.
They have, we assume, defined words.
Yeah.
But in the academic world, depending in what academia place you're using it, the words actually change their meaning. The important thing I think we need to do is, as Masons, a sense of, if we're going to start a discussion to talk about esoteric, we're going to say, right, as a Mason, talk about esoteric, this is what we're discussing it from.
Okay.
And I think the thing we really need to try and stop doing, and I think you've said it as well, we both have got in the habit of using it as a blanketing phrasing.
I'm incredibly guilty of it. I've run esoteric evenings and all sorts of things, because it does just, in some ways I understand that it scares people off, but it will also, is a buzzword that will attract the right people to it sometimes.
Yeah.
So people, I guess, understand what I mean, but it doesn't seem that we should really be using that word. So
yeah, I suppose we're looking at something that's almost paradoxical.
Yes.
Because the case of, in some vein, we use it as a negative. Yeah. We use it as, that guy's esoteric, or we'll give that to there. Yeah. And so you're right, it does divide. Those people of interest do go to you. But I think we do need to stop, or at least appreciate that if we're going to look at the actual definition of the word, the sense of that it is about a knowledge for a specific group of people, then we have to say Freemason is esoteric.
100%.
Due to the fact that even if we just took, I'm not saying that there is not the hermetical value in there. I mean, you've got exposures being written in 1733, I think there's one which says about all the Kabbalah references within it. And that's back when our rituals are only really starting to be formed, that this opinion is going in. We cannot deny it's not there. Whether it's the level of significance is something else. It's no significance to me. But I can understand that people like yourself or others go, oh yeah, this is valuable stuff. Yeah. But if we promote a concept that Freemasonry is not esoteric, or it is, so there's that wall divide, we stop communication.
Yeah.
And we've got a risk of someone on this side might enjoy that side or the other way. Also, I think we devalue the ritual.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is that people aren't scared off by this term. That if they are interested in learning more about Freemasonry and what it means to them, don't be afraid to go to a study group. Don't be afraid to knock on the door. Don't be afraid to give somebody a call or to answer an advert or whatever it would be, to actually go along and go to these things. If you see that word esoteric, but you feel that you don't have enough knowledge, it's not about that. It's about a willingness to learn. And I think any group that you join, any study group, like Minerva has its study group, it's there to help people learn.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. So if we are scared away by these words, we're not attracting the right people, which is, again, for Freemasonry in general, a bad thing. Because if people start viewing it from the outside as something that's completely esoteric and you need all of this knowledge to go and join in, then they're not going to do it. Whereas you don't need the knowledge. You just need the willingness to come along and learn. It may take you 10 years to build your knowledge up, but that's fine. If it's part of your journey.
That's true, but I suppose the other thing we do need to look at is both sides of the fence. I mean, I've spoken very much in the sense of how it's portrayed as a negative from people like myself who step away from the hermetical. I don't see it. I have no value in it. But it also happens the other way, where I have gone to the independent research lodges.
Yeah.
And there's the hermetical Mason who's very much involved with it, and this is it, who is almost as narrow-minded in discussion as someone who isn't. In this case, there is no openness, and so you want to learn, but there's this line about them being lectured to.
The Minerva group is open for everybody. It's accessible. And the whole point of it is to give people a flavour. It's the same as these Minerva Talks. It's to give people a flavour of these topics so they can go away and do their own research. Because I found that when I started to look at a lot of these topics, and I was quite young when I was doing that there wasn't... You either were an expert or you're a complete novice.
Yeah.
There was nothing in the middle. And to get there wasn't a clear pathway. You just had to read a lot or do a lot to actually get there. And that's why I started Minerva as a place to go and meet.
Yeah.
Because I felt that people needed somewhere they could dip their toe. That they could come along, meet some people that are into topics, but that's why the topics are always quite broad. Because I feel that it's something they can come along, like today we're talking about the meaning of esoteric. People hopefully will listen to this and go away and actually think about some of the things that we've said, but do their own research into it, do their own research into specific fields of that they're really interested in. Somebody might be interested in alchemy, for example, and won't go to an alchemical study group because they feel that until they've attained all of that knowledge, they're not worthy. Where you need to go along, you need to dip your toe, and you need to start meeting people before you can get your knowledge up.
And that's the other thing, is you need groups like yours, a sense of, because when I joined Freemasonry, I was very much in my almost, I could call it my Indiana Jones phase. I believed in the Ark of the Covenant. I wanted to go, I thought I was going to join Freemasons to find this massive library of like Alexander, get all this information through. I mean, one of the first books I was reading was Ward and things like that, which I'm like, God, this is amazing. And then as years go on, you start, okay, it's not exactly how he sees that. And it's like when you turn around and say about the alchemy, I now know that is such a broad topic. Yeah. I mean, alchemy now is so subdivided, and in the sense of if you are going to go the ancient Phoenician sort of like viewpoint,
of course,
or if you're going to go down to the Newton sort of work, and you need to lose that that narrow concept that's all one thing, and you actually know they're actually really subdivided.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the great things of having groups like yours where you can discuss it on that, but going back to the sense of the use of the word, then there is that point we need to, on that level of instruction, of turning around and saying these are the elements. Because anything that keeps a Mason actually interested, even if it's to rule it out, is important.
Definitely. It's been a really interesting discussion, and I think these, as always, will rage on. Hopefully, people
will do between us.
It will between us, yeah. Hopefully, people that are watching will leave some comments, give us some reaction, and let us know what your feelings are on the word esoteric. Has it become a buzzword? Has it changed over the years? And do you think we should still be using it? Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. And we hope to see you again very soon.